Hi, welcome to our senior college and career presentation. It is that time of the year, time to start making those explorations of both college and career. And we are here as your high school counseling team.
Hi, I'm Laura Hughes. I serve studio students with last names A through GO.
Hi, I am Natalie Mahili, and I serve studio students with the last names GR through OL.
And I'm Karen Witham, and I serve students with the last name OR through Z. And we hope that this presentation will be really helpful as you begin making all those applications. Welcome to the Senior College and Career Presentation, put together by Studio's Counseling Department. Your education is a dress rehearsal for a life that is yours to lead. We hope that this presentation is helpful to you as you fill out college applications and do FAFSA. So we're going to start out now by talking about the FAFSA. So FAFSA will open up October the 1st. This is something typically that's taken care of by parents. Applicants apply using the prior tax year of tax status. So you're looking prior tax year. This is something that is required if you are looking to transition and go to a community college and then on to a four-year university. You are required to do FAFSA if you're looking to tap into those agreements between the community colleges and high schools. For example, Palomar offers something to students called the Palomar Promise, but parents have to have completed this. So it's important, regardless of if you're going to a four-year university right out of high school, or if you're going right out of high school to the local community colleges. So the final deadline for this being taken care of is June 30th of your senior year. However, the sooner that this happens, the better. Certainly that is true if you are looking to get a financial aid based on need. For the community colleges, there is a limited amount of funds that's given out. And so it's really important that you take care of this nice and early. And also for those of you that would be looking for Cal Grant funding potentially, then it has to be completed by March the 2nd. So truthfully, just the sooner that you can get on it and get this taken care of, the better. So we've put up here several websites that you can look at and review. We hope that these sites will be helpful to you. These sites have information on college financial aid offices, parent and student employers, local scholarships, CNaviance, and the Scholly app for your phone. So we've got those two sites up and posted, and then some other areas that that we would encourage you to look at would be those college financial aid offices going in. Once you've been accepted to a college, you're then able to go in and talk to financial aid about what financial packages they might have, what scholarships they might have available, and what have you. Parents and students, many times have employers. For instance, in San Diego, there are several companies that offer students that work for them. Chick-fil-A is one, Sonic, that offer their employees special scholarships that are tied to college tuition. Additionally, we post a whole host of scholarships on Naviance. So we really encourage everybody to get on your Naviance accounts and seek out those scholarships that we have posted there. There is also an app called the Scholly app, and this is there for a minimal charge. I think it's about $1, $2 maybe. You're able to download this app to your phone, and you're able then to personalize your information to see what scholarships may be a fit for you and our scholarships that you'll want to apply for and look at. So now the college admissions process itself. As a senior, now is the time, right? So testing is not required this year for many of the universities. At least that's true of our state university systems right now. So the Cal States and the UCs are not requiring either the SAT or the ACT exam. Additionally, essays, now's the time to get essays done, resumes and brag sheets turned in. We're already seeing a lot of students turn in those brag sheets and turn in those resumes. And so it is really important that you get those done, get those brag sheets put together, get those resumes put together, ask teachers, ask counselors if they'd be willing to write your letters if colleges are requiring that from you. And, the sooner we get those brag sheets, the sooner we're able to get started on those great letters that we want to help everyone with and want to do a good job on. Certainly for counseling, we are looking to speak to the whole student. So the more that we're able to know about all these great things that you've been involved in throughout high school, the better. We like to include all the extracurricular activities that you've been involved in, as well as academics. So we do like to write those letters from a really nice, kind of well-rounded perspective. So it is important that we get those brag sheets, get those resumes ASAP, and then everybody can get started now on those letters of rec. Service academies. So those of you that are looking at the service academies, hopefully you did start this process early. It is required that this process gets started early, typically in your junior year of high school. It does require a nomination from a senator, congressman, or vice president. Try to get one ideally from each. Additionally, it's important to the academies many times that you have attended their academy preview days and or their summer seminars that they run at all of the different academy locations. And then those applications typically were due in the winter. Hopefully that was something that you did as a junior. However, it's certainly something for you still to explore if that is something that you are trying to seek out admission for. Playing sports in college. So finding teams and coaches. Again, we've put together some helpful links, we hope. These would be sites that you would want to get on and establish, set up if you've not done that already. And we then are able to go in and upload transcripts and have transcripts and things sent out to coaches and sent out to universities for admissions purposes. So those students that are looking to play a sport in college, you'd want to pick one of these sites. Typically the most well-known is that NCAA site. There are other sites, the NAIA site. However, that one is a little difficult for us at times to sort of navigate. The NCAA site tends to be a little easier for both the student and certainly on the counseling end for us to navigate and take care of those tasks that need to be taken care of for application purposes. Performing arts in college. So those of you looking to go the route of arts, typically you hopefully through high school, you've been saving if you've done some auditions, if you've made tapes, CDs, video, then those are all put together and put into portfolios and are then typically given to the university to review at the times of admissions. So that the process for those students seeking out degrees in performance, drama, those sorts of things, typically there is portfolios that are required. And so that's something that you'd want to be checking out now and seeing exactly what it is those colleges are looking for from you as they work through their admissions process. Standardized testing. These would be the sites that you would go to if your individual college list, your interest list of colleges tells you that they are in fact looking for standardized test scores for admissions. So this is something now that not all colleges are requiring. Some colleges, typically still it's private universities that are at times, not always, saying that if you have a standardized test score, they'll look at that and they will base merit gifting based on those test scores. But again, not everyone is requiring it. You can take either the SAT, here's the website, the collegeboard.org site for you to sign up and register, or the ACT site. And here's the ACT site that you would get on and use in order to get registered. So there's SAT and ACT. Then applying to the community college.
Future Palomar College students will apply at palomar.edu and then click on apply for admission. We recommend that you start this process early. This is all based on a first come, first serve basis for the Palomar Promise program, where students can get the first year and possibly second year free. So this starts early in the fall of senior year. As mentioned, you need to do the FAFSA. The parents help with that, and then students will go online to the Palomar website, apply to be a student, make sure that Palomar College is listed on the FAFSA, and then there will be a supplemental application for the Palomar Promise to do as well. Then in the spring, the students, the seniors will participate in priority registration at Palomar and attend the Discover Palomar event, and more information comes out in the spring for that. And moving on, this is what the flyer will look like. This changes a little bit each year, but this will tell you what the Palomar Promise can give our students, the application process, the benefits and services. They've given free tuition, as mentioned, and then some textbooks assistance, free parking, things like that. So each year it's a little different, but be looking for this updated flyer that goes out in October. Here's a nice little flyer as well that gives you all the steps to make sure that you are ready to go for the Palomar Promise program. And we recommend that all students apply for this if this might be somewhere that they could possibly attend, because it's a good backup. So if a student decides at the last minute that they actually don't want to go away to that four-year university, at least if they have this in their back pocket, they're not scrambling at the last minute, since this is based on a first come, first served basis. So students should just apply, even if it might be a slight possibility, just to have it set up and ready to go if they do want to utilize it. And they don't have to go there if they end up applying. They don't have to go through with that. So here's some additional information for those students who are going the community college route. They have great transfer admission agreements. They have transfer agreements with 6 UC schools. For the most up-to-date information, you can go to their transfer center website, which is listed here, or you can call their transfer center at Palomar College. Assist.org is another great site to do some research for what transfers and everything. And Palomar College also offers great certificate of achievements or proficiency in academic or career technical training programs. And we will go more into that on the next slide. So many of our students may know they want to just pursue a career or extended education or a career technical program. And if so, Palomar College is a great resource for that. So they have their CTEE departments and programs. We've listed them here. They have cooperative education, CTE transitions, design and manufacturing technologies, emergency medical education, occupational and non-credit programs, public safety programs in administration of justice, fire technology, fire academy, police academy, trade and industry, and then workforce, community, and continuing education. And their dean of the CTEE is Margie Fritch, and she's a great resource. Her number is listed right there, and you can find more information by going to the link right there at the bottom of this slide.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about the Common Application. So the Common Application is an application that is accepted at over 700 plus universities nationwide. So it's a great way to do college admissions if you find that there are several universities that are on your interest list that are also on the Common Application. So this one application site allows you to apply to multiple universities by just using and submitting the same application. Typically, the more selective universities that are listed on the Common Application may come back to you and require more than one essay, but those are typically supplemental essays, and they require far fewer words. The word requirement on the Common Application is currently 650 words. And so this is a great way for students who are applying to multiple universities that they find would be on this site to do several applications, but just have to do one written application for all. Additionally, we do want to stress that the Common Application is not matched to Naviance. So those of you that are not using the Common Application, or those of you that are using the Common Application, you want to make a note of that. So on the Common Application, the counseling team sends out transcripts through the Common App. We don't require, once you've invited us on that site, then we know we need to put a transcript in for those listed universities. Any universities that are not on the Common Application, you're going to want to request your transcripts through Naviance. So that then falls back to the student. The student must then go on Naviance, their Naviance account, and make all of your transcript requests through Naviance. And that's how we send transcripts electronically. So it's important that you know that. And certainly, you want to put in that initial transcript request at the start of the year now, and then you'll put in a final request as well. It is important to note that the UCs and the CSUs have their own application sites and links. We've posted those links here. And so the UCs open up, they run for the month of November, opening November 1st and closing November 30th. And the CSUs open October 1st and close November 30th. So you have a little longer on the CSUs as far as application time goes than you would have, say, on the UCs. Again, we really recommend that you get a jump start on those applications. The application sites are open now. And so now is the time to be getting those essays written and getting everything taken care of and hopefully getting those submissions done early. We have heard in previous years that at times there's been issues with the site itself. And so you can get hung up at the last minute. And, of course, they're quite unforgiving if you do run into a glitch and you can't get it in by those November 30th dates, then you really are out of luck. So we really stress get that all done early and taken care of, and then you can sleep at night and not worry. Naviance. So here is the listing of the Naviance site that you're going to go to when you are making transcript requests and when you're putting in your college list. You're also able on Naviance to do virtual college visits. So that's important if you're unsure about a university, what they have to offer, what maybe the campus looks like, then this is a great way for you to get that information. We just talked about transcript requests are made in Naviance. You will be making those transcript requests again for all of your non-Common Application schools. If you apply on the Common App, then we know to put a transcript in for that list of schools on Common App. But again, everything else you're going to request through Naviance. You can also in Naviance request letters of recommendation if those are required. We do ask that you allow 3 weeks for letters to be written. Our teachers, counseling, we've all got a lot going on. And so if we can have some lead time on those letters, that's very helpful to us. But again, the sooner that you can get us those brag sheets and resumes, the better, because we're able to then get a jump start. Then I want to follow up with letting you all know that our teaching staff and counselors alike, we're writing those letters many times out of school hours at night on the weekends. And so it is important to follow up with notes of appreciation. So now understanding the terminology. So as you're doing these applications, you're going to see that there's several different ways you can apply. And this will be true on individual college application sites as well as on the Common Application. So early action is just simply early action. It means that you get on those sites and you are the first, if you will, in line to be submitting your application. And so that's good. You want to get in as early as you can because you ideally want to get in on that first round of admissions. However, there is also something called early decision 1 and 2. Early decision, however, is very different from early action. It is a legally binding agreement now that stands between you and the university. If you apply early decision and are accepted as early decision, then you are legally bound to attend that university, regardless of cost or anything else really. What's nice about early decision is that if you want to go to a university and perhaps you don't have everything on your transcript or everything that you think would be needed for extracurricular, the university will overlook some things if they know that you are applying as an early decision applicant. So it can be a very nice way to apply. The early decision 1 and early decision 2 will have different deadline dates to them, as well as a few additional requirements. So that's something that you'll want to be aware of. Then there's other admission types, rolling admissions, which just keeps going throughout the school year and well into the summer, open admissions, and then of course selective admissions, which those universities that would tend to be Ivy League would fall under that category. But again, really with any college applications, the sooner that you can get those applications in, the better. We've also put a link up here that you can go to and look at if you want to get some more information on these different terminologies for how to apply. So the student's part of the application. So typically on all applications, you're inputting biographical information, you're inputting senior year courses, you're listing out all the wonderful activities, extracurricular and things that you've been involved in high school. Employment is important. Colleges do like to see that students have been employed and kept a job, that you've maybe done, excuse me, an internship, summer programs, honors, any honors and awards that you have are all important things for you to list. Additionally, essays can be very important. And I'd say especially so now, because colleges can't come and meet you face to face, then really this essay almost functions like a one-on-one interview. So it's important that you write those essays and really express, your passions, who you are, again, and we'll talk a little bit later about essays in these future slides. We talked earlier about standardized tests. If those are needed, then that is something that you want to take care of. And if you have done a standardized test, ACT, SAT, then it's important that those scores be sent directly to, from testing services directly to the university.
All right, college essays. These are a big part of the student application when they are applying to certain colleges that require them. Students should have completed or are completing application essays. Hopefully they are working on this. Some students may have started this at the end of junior year, or if they took an AP course, they sometimes start preparing and writing some of those essay prompts. And if not, they can still do this. They'll just want to start working on it now, because this sometimes is one of the things that holds up a student's application. So essay topics for the Common App are found on the commonapp.org website. You can go there to find those. And then there are personal insight questions for UC admissions, which are found on admission.universityofcalifornia.edu. And then the CSU universities do not require an essay. So those are the ones that students would need to write an essay for. And here's a great resource on writing the college application essay by Harry Bald. And you can look that up, and students have used that and found that helpful too. So essays are huge. This is a really big part of the application process, and something that they look at a lot, especially now that many schools have gone test blind or test optional. So this is a big piece in the application. So we really highly suggest that students be authentic. This is their part where they can share things about themselves to make themselves stand out and answer the question and write to the topic. Students sometimes can trail off and not keep it to the point. So you definitely want to look at the prompt and make sure you stick to the prompt. And then decide what is essential for the college to know about you, and then write about that. Again, this is your opportunity to explain things that may have happened, weave that into your story, tell your story and explain what happened. If a school requests an essay, it is important. So if a student's on the Common application and they have supplemental essays, we do suggest that you do write those. What might the essay reveal about you? It can reveal your thought process, what you're passionate about, your individuality and uniqueness, and your ability to use language effectively. So the essay is, again, a huge part of this process, and this is your time to shine. And definitely review it. Have your English teacher or someone who can go over it for grammatical errors. This is something that you should definitely spend time on and review, because it is an important part. All right, resumes for college. Many colleges expect to receive a resume. It's important for recommenders, jobs, study abroad programs, and it's also an additional great tool because you can provide this to recommenders, teachers, school counselors, coaches, pastors, youth pastors. So many times you have to request those letters of recommendation, and this is one of those things that you can provide them so they have something to pull from in a nice, clean spot. And it also looks good to send to colleges. Sometimes they want you to send those. So definitely having one of these on hand is great. We also have a brag sheet students can use, but this is a resume looks great when you're applying to college.
So college visits, it's really impossible to evaluate some of the characteristics of a campus without maybe actually either getting on the campus in person or viewing the campus virtually. So we really do think that it's important that whenever possible, you get out and do those college visits. We are fortunate here in that at times you're able to use Mondays for college visits. So can use some of the weekend and then Mondays to go out and see colleges. We also really encourage students to go out and do both a formal and an informal visit at a college and university. So those formal visits would be maybe where the college puts on a special weekend where they have all kinds of activities and events, maybe football games and things all lined up for students that are considering their college, their university to come out to. The informal visits would include things where maybe you just show up and go on campus and walk around, go into the coffee shops, talk to students. That's a great way to really get a feel of what the students on that campus feel. Maybe go in and sit in on a class. A lot of times you're able to just kind of slip into the back of a classroom and listen in to a class that's being taught. So again, it's just really important that you know, we all hear things about colleges and universities, but really until you get on the campus, you're really not able to really get that feel for if that's a right setting for you. So along with that, we really encourage students to talk to their parents. Obviously, it's so important that there's a good dialogue, a good conversation that's happening between parents and students. Important to know your financial parameters. So as you're looking at colleges, to sort of have that in play, to think broadly. Some of the very best schools that are out there are maybe ones that you haven't heard of. Additionally, with many of the colleges, especially it's true of private universities, they have big price tags, but a lot of times they're extremely generous with the monies that they give away. And so you're really not able to know what you might have been eligible for unless you do those applications. So thinking broadly, and then, you know, we say too, you know, allowing your son or daughter then to be in the driver's seat. There's so many great colleges out there for students. And sometimes it's not that one is any better or worse than another, but rather there's a culture on a campus. And it would just be that perhaps that particular culture fits with your son or daughter. When they come to that campus, they feel that fit. Be supportive. Let your son and daughter know that college admissions decisions are no evaluation of them, either as students or as human beings. Again, there's so many great options out there for students. And again, there's not typically just one that has to be it, but rather there's a whole host of great schools, and great kids do great things no matter where they land. So we're going to close out now. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And so this is a great time to be dreaming and planning for the next wonderful and exciting chapter of life. Now's the time if you're a senior. And so we do hope that this short presentation is helpful to you, and that you're feeling a little bit more confident as you launch into doing those applications.